Opinion editorial, Trump's conviction is our last wake-up call. Vote like your future depends on it. Power panel now. David Avella, GOPAC chairman. Patrick Murphy, former Pennsylvania congressman and former undersecretary of the Army. Great to see you. David, vote like your life depends on it, your future.
Absolutely. And you see in this upcoming trip, you have a President Trump who is going out and campaigning in states he did not win in 2020. Whereas you've yet to see President Biden go and try to campaign in states to try to get a victory where he didn't get one in 2020. This is a president in Biden who is seeking a campaign strategy while he sits at 36% approval. And this latest strategy of, let's call him a convicted felon, is Biden willing to take that to the debate stage? Is he going to use that term on the debate stage? Because you know what that requires? That requires him to be a quick thinker. Because when President Trump comes back at him, will he have the ability to respond? I mean, this is a president who a few months ago was talking about he was having conversations with dead people. Do you think he can go into a debate stage and call Trump a convicted felon and be able to handle the response he will get from President Trump?
Let's put that question to Patrick. Patrick.
Harris, absolutely. I mean, come on. These two gentlemen faced off 4 years ago. They stood toe-to-toe.
Do you think Biden is the same?
Yeah, I think they're both the same. They're both a little bit older, and they're both...
No, that's not what I asked you. I mean, with all that we've seen and all that we've experienced, with you and I sitting across from each other at times when we witnessed some of not just the gaffes and not just the mistakes, but the lies about the past, stories that never happened. You think that he now is the same as he was even 4 years ago?
I think that people understand that he cares about them and that he's working his tail off.
We're not going to answer the question.
No, I am. I said yes. Harris, I said yes. But
caring about people, okay.
No, but they debated twice 4 years ago. They're debating twice again this time. And I think there's an incredible contrast, Harris. And the fact is this, that there's one person in this race that's fighting for the American people. And has been in those 6 swing states that were laid out.
Why is he losing then? All right, let's move on. Fox News' brand new power rankings is issuing a tracker which shows that President Trump leads Biden on the most key issues, including foreign policy, guns and crime, the economy and border. Biden leads Trump on healthcare, democracy, and abortion. And I'll go reverse order. Patrick.
Yeah, and I think that Fox poll shows that this is going to be neck and neck. And yes, there's 50 states in America, but it comes down to 6 swing states, including my home state of Pennsylvania. And the fact is this, is that I do think that Joe Biden needs to win to remain president, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And I know the polls don't look great that you mentioned earlier in Arizona and Nevada, but they're all within the margin of error. So this is going to be nip and tuck. We are literally 5 months away from an historic election day, a rematch of epic proportions.
All right. Real quick from you, David, and I'll move forward.
It cannot be said enough. The president is sitting at 36% approval rating.
Yeah.
And that is why President Trump enjoys such big leads on the issues that Americans say they would rather have them. And this latest strategy of using convicted felon over and over will go over about as well as the strategy of showing that Vice President Harris is up and ready to lead. They roll her out every couple months saying she's ready to lead. She doesn't do well. They put her back where she's not in the public light as much. They have tried campaign strategy after campaign strategy to show they're up for the job. They're sitting at 36% approval.
President Biden leaned into his criticism of Trump's conviction at a private campaign fundraiser last night. Biden said, quote, "For the first time in American history, a former president that is a convicted felon is now seeking the office of the presidency. This isn't the same Trump that got elected in 2016. He's worse." Those are Biden's words. The Biden campaign has used the term several times since the verdict, but this is the first time Biden has used the words himself. And I'll go in reverse order again. Dave.
Is he willing to say that on the debate stage, 1? And 2, in every major policy area, people believe Donald Trump will do a better job than Joe Biden. Under this administration, inflation is up, The border's in chaos, and that's what voters say they are most concerned about, and they know where Joe Biden's been on the issue.
Look, there'll be some flash polling that happens, after the verdict up until about this point, and then we'll start to look at longer polling, Patrick, on whether or not that conviction affects people's vote. What would you tell the president right now about the words convicted felon?
I would say use it because it's the facts. And the facts are this. When you look at the independent
Well, it's
votes,
also a fact that he's let in, according to the House Speaker, who I sat down with last week, the real number is 17 million people across our border, and a large number of them illegally. That's from Mike Johnson, the House Speaker. So that's a fact, too. I guess the Republicans had better use it.
no, and I think that when President Trump was in, he asked Congress to pass immigration reform. They didn't do it.
Oh, my
President
goodness.
Biden passed it. That's the.
He's been saying he didn't have the power to do anything, and then suddenly today, with 36%, as David Avella has pointed out many times, he's going to take executive action.
Harris,
It's still going to let in more than 900,000 people a year.
And
We'll
we
get
got to
into the
do a
math
better
later.
job. And we got to do a better job on that. There's no doubt about
Great
it.
to
As
see you both.
Americans.
I have to let you go. Thank you. Outnumbered next.